We went into the Gaza Strip not knowing that we were going to make a documentary. We were working on a shoestring budget, and we came out of the Gaza Strip with devastating testimony of war crimes and incredible stories of survival and courage in the face of ruin. And so we decided that we wanted to make a documentary that was not only factually comprehensive, but also visually and aesthetically compelling. A real vehicle for telling Americans about the reality they've helped to create in the Gaza Strip. And we can't do this without your support.
This film represents the culmination of more than a year and a half of work. I had unfettered access to the Gaza Strip, and I witnessed unspeakable amounts of suffering that I can only communicate through video, through film, because words cannot describe the devastation that I witnessed.
One of the most enduring scenes from the assault on the Gaza Strip in 2014 was the video of 22-year-old Salem Shamali being executed by an Israeli sniper in the rubble of Shujaiya. And we went back to meet with his family, actually during the war, the Shamali family, and we met his younger brother Wasim, and he broke down in tears describing how much he missed his older brother. And you know, after our interview, I spoke to Wasim in the corner of the room, and he told me that when he grew up, he wanted to be a resistance fighter. And this is the story that we heard from so many young people who've known nothing but siege and these devastating assaults and the brutality of occupation. Dan, you had the chance to go out with the Nasser Saladin Brigades, which is an armed faction in the Gaza Strip, and film them training.
I sat and talked with these young men who have decided to take up arms against Israel, against the occupation. I asked each one of them individually, what motivates you? And each one would tell me occupation, and many of them have individual traumas, whether they've lost family members or they've seen massive violence.
We encountered people who were resisting in so many different ways under siege. We encountered young painters, rappers, break dancers. What they're doing through their art is a form of resistance. We also told the story of Rifat Al-Arir, who is a teacher of English literature at Islamic University, and we showed how he's teaching a classroom full of young women in the Gaza Strip who've never been able to meet Israelis, about Israeli society, about Hebrew literature, and about the Jewish Israelis who are resisting occupation and apartheid, people that they'll never have a chance to meet. And so we think these stories are absolutely essential to tell.
I was raised in a typical Jewish American community in a suburb of Phoenix, Arizona, and I was taught to support Israel in my synagogue. And throughout the rubble of the Gaza Strip, I found remnants of weapons made in cities that I know, in Mesa, Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona, places that I spent a lot of time in and where people live that I know. And I think it's really important that people from my community know what they're contributing to, or at least ideologically supporting, because I really firmly believe that if we understood what we were supporting, then we wouldn't do it.
We're working with a team of translators, editors. We're even working with an animator who is helping to illustrate some of the atrocities and stories of survival described to us by the survivors of Israel's assault. And we're working with a composer to produce an original soundtrack that really conveys the experience that's being described to us on film. And so we need your support to really carry this film through and carry this vision through and produce an original vehicle that tells Americans about the reality in the Gaza Strip under siege.